Welcome, everybody. This is Chris Collins. I'm very sorry that we started a couple minutes late here. We were having technical difficulties, which seems to be the theme for this show. Happened a couple weeks ago, too. We are going to iron that out, though, and we will fix it and be consistent. I promise. I hope everybody voted today or is going to vote. It's very important. You got to rock the vote, especially in these crazy times. I feel like the left, so left being CNN and the right being like Fox News, agitate everything to the extremes. But if most of us, like most of us here in this room, voted, we'd be okay because most of us have common sense and we're in the middle. We're not extreme on anything. We don't want communism and socialism, but we don't also want to have to go to church if we don't want to. And so, we respect each other. And so I think that a lot of our problems could be fixed if everybody voted, because I think it all wash out in the middle mostly. We're mostly in the middle, I think. We have an exciting show for you today. I want to give you the number. So if you have a business problem, you have something that you're stuck on, and you need the business whisper to unlock your mind and your potential, I'm a magician at this. I need you to call 8337-WHISPER. If you can't spell whisper, you're not our demographic. But if you can, then let me help you. I live to help you. This is the most fun part of my day, is being able to talk to other entrepreneurs like myself and use my what seems like a million years of experience fixing businesses, but really it's just about a little over 20. But I've been to hundreds of businesses and I've seen the good and the bad. I pay very close attention to actions that people take and the outcomes of those actions, good or bad. And I know some recipes that can help you bake a cake of freedom and success and more fun too. I think we should have more fun. Now, side note on the show, and we're going to get to the callers because I know we have a couple holding here. Tomorrow on Business Outlaws, the big show that I do with my best friend, Big Mike, we have a very special guest. We have a couple guests coming in, but the highlight is Iron Mike Tyson is going to be here in the Safe House, and we're going to have him on the big show, and we're redoing our menu. So, Business Outlaws is the only show with a bud tender. So Mike has a bud tender, Screwy Louie, and I have a bartender. And I actually have two bartenders, and they are practicing for the big show tomorrow to not disappoint our studio audience as we serve them Cuban cigars and cocktails and whatever the bartender has going, Big Mike's blends. And so the ladies, I don't know if we can switch the camera to them, but they're hard at work on two drinks. They're going to serve them to me during the show. I think we might need some help from the audience in naming them, but I know that they're working on a drink called Mi Vida that has an elderflower in it. I don't know if you've ever tried an elderflower, but it's kind of fun, creates a little experience. And that, I think, will hopefully be the first one that I'm sampling. Is that the first one I'm going to sample? So at any time, ladies, doesn't matter if I'm on a call, this research is the most important thing that we could be doing. You're doing God's work there. And we're going to go to our first caller, but feel free to interrupt at any time. Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
What kind of a guy calls a business show and says, I have too much business?
I guess a guy who actually has too much business.
Isn't that the problem we all want to have?
I know. Well, it's the problem I have.
Okay, tell me a little bit about your business. No, growing and having too much business can be crippling. You can choke to death. I've seen it happen many times and run out of cash if you grow too fast. So tell me a little bit about your business.
Okay, so what I'm doing like my business is my company is a trademark clothing line called The Proper Gentleman. And
Proper
I started
Gentleman?
out with The Proper Gentleman.
I like that name, man. That's a great name.
Thank you.
The Proper Gentleman. Okay.
And, so I started out with, and basically this was just something that just fell into my lap because at the time I was doing like high-end hot rod upholstery, like high-end interiors, and was just stressed out. I didn't have a hobby or anything. And this was an idea that I had set on for a few years, about having a custom wallet. So, as just looking for a hobby, picked up, a basic set of tools to work in, and, tinkered with it for a couple of weeks, and then made the very first wallet and posted it on my Facebook and just said, who wants one? And the next day I added up all the orders that I took, and it was, close to $1,200.
Oh,
and
wow.
It has been like that since then. And so 4 straight years, it's been, I've had just, ongoing backlog, for, custom wallets and whatever. I can't make anything fast enough because it usually sells, within a day or two. And, so I can't establish inventory to go out and do any kind of like pop-ups or, even to go set up at a gun show or anything on the side, just to get out of the shop, out of the studio. I mean, I'm really just, right now I'm looking at probably $3,000 worth to be done.
So you're in jail, basically.
Pretty
Your
much.
success has put you in jail. Is that how it feels?
Well, I am in jail, and it's because you remember the interior business that I had before, previous to this. Well, I had a nasty divorce with the partners there, and on the way out, I was kind of starved to death because I have no business sense at all. So I was living on credit cards and stuff like that, and I'm still dealing with all that debt. So I can't go and do a line of credit for machinery that would help me, because I'm doing everything by hand. Everything that if you look at my
you hit me up on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
What's your Instagram? Because your stuff is beautiful.
The Proper Gentleman.
The Proper Gentleman, yeah. And so your stuff is unbelievable. So
thank you.
I'm gonna give you some good ideas here, Jimmy, but just help me through a couple things so I understand. So how long does it take you to make one of those pieces, and are they all custom orders, or are you making them and then putting them up for sale?
Each wallet, I mean, you can spend 15 to 20, depending on how much detail you put in them. I mean, I try to put a lot of details into them.
Did you say 15 to 20 hours?
Yes.
Sorry, the phone cut out. So 15 to 20 hours on each one. And what do you sell that dude for?
My highest end customs they range between $650 to, I've sold some in the 1,100 range.
Okay, so let's just talk about averages. Your average one that you make takes 15 or 20 hours?
Average is about 750. About 750.
And how long does it take?
About 15 hours.
Okay, so if I take 750 and divide it by 15, we're making $50 an hour.
Yep.
Okay, and then
that's about what I try to do.
What's the cost of the material? So if you're selling it for $750, how much is the leather and all that?
I mean, the material cost is about $15.
Okay, so you're still close to 50. So material cost was low. And then, do you have any employees or any assistants or anything like that?
No, I tried that before, and it was, I was in the military for a while, 9 years, and I managed people. I was there, and I just, not real good at it anymore. I'm not really interested in babysitting grown men. So I'm just,
what about babysitting grown women?
Hey, I'll make an exception, I guess.
You might not want to mix the two the way I said that. Okay, so we're making, if I'm getting this right, you're making 2 to 3 pieces a week.
No, because the process it takes you because you do one part of it and then you have to let it dry, and then you have to do the next part and let it dry. So it's normally a 2 to 3 day process to do each one. So I'm trying to do 2 to 3 per week, but it's, you know, me being a one man shop, I don't have the luxury of just sitting and working all day. I'm still having to do all the marketing, all the photography, all the sales, you know.
So you're making 1.5
everything.
a week?
Yeah, I can do that. Usually 1.5 to 2 if I'm hustling.
Okay. And so, yeah, okay. And you don't want to have an employee?
Well, the custom stuff is what is the main drive right now. And to be honest, I started this to be, you know, after I realized that there was a little momentum going and I had to have a trademark, I trademarked my company as a clothing brand because I want to grow it into, you know, a full-on clothing line that will eventually compete on a national level against someone like Eddie Bauer or, you know, American Eagle or something like that, you know.
Right. But we're far from that right now, right?
Far from that, yes. So, but what I'm trying to do is transition or taper off from the custom stuff in order to start pushing more apparel in order to get more of the clothing stuff in front of the customer on a more regular basis, because up until now it's just been, hey, here's another custom wallet, here's another custom wallet.
Have you, Jimmy, are you a drinker?
No.
You don't drink at all?
No.
Oh, man, imagine the money I would save if I was like you. Imagine. Okay. I see two things here, and as the business whisperer, and you got to kind of help me go. So I'm gonna give you two options, and then you tell me which one resonates with you more. But I feel bad now doing this during our call, but they are serving me. Is this a Mia Vita?
Oh, I'm not a recovering alcoholic or anything crazy like that. I'm just not a, you know, trust me, dude. I drank like a fish forever, you know, military. And then, you know, just, that was it. But I think around 2013, 2014, I stopped.
Well,
and,
we're practicing for tomorrow because we have Mike Tyson on and we're redoing our menu here in the Safe House. And so they're testing drinks. So they just served me. We only serve tequila drinks here in the Safe House, by the way.
Nice.
And so this is called a Mia Vita, which is your life, which is a little insight into what this drink is going to be. But it has an elderflower. Have you ever had ever eaten an elderflower?
I have not, but I heard you talking about it. I'm going to check that out.
Kind of makes your whole mouth feel a little weird. So I'm eating the elderflower now. I'm going to drink this.
Go ahead. I'm watching.
Oh, that's good. But is that sugar on the rim? I maybe want a little more spice. And we do like tahini. Man, that's good, though. Oh, the party started. Okay, Jimmy, I have two ideas. Steer me. Oh, I guess I have shit all over my beard. I have sugar all over my beard. I have two directions, and I want you to kind of lead me. So one direction, and what I've seen work really well with somebody that wants to spend most of their time creating. So it sounds like to me you're not interested in having employees, but you like creating. You like designing clothes, designing the wallets, and creating. So am I accurate in that?
You are, yes, sir.
So a lot of big designers that I know, from, you know, Trina Turk onwards, have a partner that is in the background that owns 25% of the company. That partner is really good at managing people, finances and accounting, inventory, managing you. You need to think of yourself as being managed like an A-list movie star. Like, somebody's going to manage your calendar. They're going to tell you where to be. They're going to keep you on track. So you can just let your mind be free and you can create. You don't have to always worry about what am I doing tomorrow and what do I got going here and what money's in the account and what not. They tell you, hey, you can spend this, you can do this, and you kind of are managed like a famous artist or athlete, and they have 25% of your company. They're a partner. They're vested in your performance. They have a track record. Even like Alexander McQueen partnered a couple of times, and then he ended up partnering with Tom Ford and Gucci in the end before he passed away. But he sold his company. And so that's kind of how I see the most successful designers in the clothing field. They have a partner that owns a minority of the company, but is the finances, the human resources, the hiring, the managing, and you're free to create. Now, that's one side. The other side is you get yourself an employee that's commission, that could be a freelancer. They don't have to be an employee. They could be outsourced, but you pay them like, you know, for every product I do, you're going to photograph it, write the descriptions, put it up. You're going to take orders, manage the website, and you pay them kind of piecemeal on the performance of how you're doing. And so they're vested in posting and selling. They get a little percentage of sales maybe, and they're doing that. So that's kind of more to me a Band-Aid that would get you through right now. But the partner and somebody who's really good in accounting and the business part is how you launch into being a real clothing company. And, you know, you're going to have commission salespeople. You're going to scale really, really quick if you really want to be that big, and you need somebody who's going to manage all that for you, because it will be impossible for you to create the stuff you want to create and do all the business. So tell me kind of how you feel about those two ideas.
I'd be like, send me a contract. I'd be ready. I'm ready. What you described is exactly what I've been kind of waiting and kind of looking for, someone to, partner with, and, exactly what you're saying. I mean,
so this is what I would do. I would run an ad on Indeed for somebody who's ran a clothing company, somebody who is a vice president. I mean, especially here, you're in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yes, sir.
So I'd probably run that ad in LA, in New York, because there's so many clothing companies here. But there's somebody out there that's going to love your stuff. It's going to resonate, and they know all the shortcuts. They could join, you want to go to dinner with them. You want to hang out with them for a weekend or two and really make sure that you blend with them, ethically, and that you have some chemistry with them, right? So you want to spend a little time. But should you spend a couple weekends with them and really get to know them, they should have experience in that industry. They should know how the system works, how marketing, how sales works. They have experience at a bigger company, but they're looking to own a piece of something and scale it. And those people are in abundance. Trust me, you would have a hard time interviewing all of them if you ran that ad in Indeed. There's tons of people at these big clothing companies. I've met them that are really talented, because, the best clothing companies attract the most talented people a lot of times. They're really talented, but they're entrepreneurs, and they want to own something, and they want to be vested in something. Sure. And at the end of the day, they still just work for Marc Jacobs or, John Varvatos, and they want to have something. And so you're offering them that. Does that resonate with you?
It does. It makes total sense. And that'd be something I'd totally be open to doing. And, like you said, I've had several offers. Some guys had just made some ridiculous offers, but,
what were the offers?
They do have, I had one guy, he offered me $250,000 for 30% of the company. And, I don't know. He was, he's a finance guy, dealership. He was a finance guy at a Chevy dealership. Good friend of mine. He was a car business guy, not a clothing guy. So,
I don't know that you want this person.
Money, but what am I going to do with it?
Yeah, I don't know that you want this person to come in with a lot of money. You want them to come in with a lot of connections and momentum. You guys will make money quick.
That's the thing.
You want somebody in that industry.
You can give me the money, but what am I going to do with it?
Yeah, no, you are like me. You want to create something great that people enjoy. The money will take care of itself, right?
Yes.
You got to be a good steward of the
Exactly.
money. You got to watch the money. But at the end of the day, it's way more important to me that I affect people in a positive way and that I get to spend my time creating, writing books, making things that make people better. And then I'll charge for it and I'll make money, but the money isn't the first thing. If somebody came in and offered me money for my company, I wouldn't even be interested. I don't want that. So yeah, would you do me that favor and run an ad on Indeed in LA and New York and be very specific in that ad? Like, don't write it like it's a job ad. Write it like you're looking for a partner, and talk about talk about what kind of person you want, what your values are, what you don't want. Be very, very specific. Like if you got 3 people that responded to it, but all 3 of them were what you wanted, I'd rather have that than have you weed through hundreds and hundreds of ads.
Sure. So,
be very, very specific. Like if there's things that drive you crazy about people that, for me, I'm people that are late, that, aren't professionals, don't have a sense of what they're doing, drive me crazy. So put that in there.
Oh, the self-awareness thing is a huge deal for me. Yeah.
So put that in there. You need to be self-aware. Like, really write it
Probably
from
why
your
I'm
heart.
still working alone.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of us like that, though. You're just an introvert like the rest of us. So do that, and then when you call me back and let me know how it goes, and if you want me to proof that ad before you put it up, send it over to us, and I'll proof it. And I'll tell you what I will do, because I'm pretty good at writing ads that find you the right person, but save you going through hundreds and hundreds of applications.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll absolutely send it over to you.
Awesome. Well, let's do that, Jimmy, and then let's keep having a conversation. Let's see if I can mentor you through this, because I'm excited. Your stuff's great, and I'm gonna go on there and see if I can order something. See what resonates.
I appreciate that, man.
Will you make me one with a bulldog?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll do that. So look out for my order. Or
we'll be in touch. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if you can help me get somebody hired, I would. I could probably slide you one. It wouldn't be no big deal.
No, bro. Not if you're spending 15 or 20 hours on it. Make me pay. I can afford it. Because the stuff is beautiful. Everybody, please make sure you go check out his Instagram too.
I appreciate
that.
The
Proper Gentleman on Instagram. Okay,
yes,
Jimmy, keep me posted. Send me what you're gonna put up, and I'll tell you my thoughts, and then let's see if we can find you the right person.
I'll do it. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate your time, man.
Thanks, bro. We'll talk again soon.